All right. Did you ping for people? You did. Great. Yeah, well, I think we should torture people just a little bit more. So I will ping. Actually, I'll ping another time because 4 people is not enough. And yeah. Oh, hell yeah, we can actually look at chat live now. Yeah, so this is awesome. Everything's trial and error, guys. Oh, so because you're deafened in stream, are people still gonna be able to actually hear you? But they can hear the stream, correct? Okay. Yeah, okay. Want to get out there, and we are. Once that goes through. And we are live, everybody. Welcome back to the Onward Talk Show, and we are actually on the map, the official Onward Talk Show map made by yours truly, fucking TJ. It's a really good map, and at some point today, we will probably walk around and look at the map. If not, then we'll probably post something online, like going through the map and actually looking at everything, because it was a hell of a process and a lot of work and a lot of love and help from Legion, actually, to go into the map, and the map is up now for people to join and look at. Yeah, it's amazing. And here we have Legion, who is a known map creator, and we have Kenzie from Apex, who made a map or worked on making a map for their server. Yeah. So welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. Really, I'm really glad to have you here. And in fact, Legion has been pretty crucial in making the map, making this map, having helped TJ a lot, or just being there, really. Motivation. Yeah. So, how has that been for you, Legion?
Well, I mean, it was really fun to help TJ making the map because, yeah, firstly, he learned a lot from me, and I could see that because he was really motivated into making also a lot of maps. Like, I think he made 3 now into 1 week just from the knowledge that I showed him. So it was really fun to see that happening in real time.
Yeah, I think it's incredible to see the motivation you've sparked into somebody and just the pure interest TJ gained and how quickly he was able to make the maps. And yeah, he's literally made or making 3 maps now, or like in the span of a week, which is absolutely incredible, and I love that. So I think that goes without a doubt. That's pretty cool to see. And Kenzie, you did make, or why don't you explain a little bit about yourself and the map making process and like what led you to making it, or like let's talk about that.
Of course. So, first of all, what I can say is it took me longer than a week, actually 4 months. I'm a former nurse and I'm a teacher, so I have literally nothing to do with all of the computer stuff and so on. This was my first obstacle to take. It took me kind of 6 weeks to figure out how Unity actually worked. Glad to have my husband on the side here, I have to say. He was definitely more in the technical stuff. I was more the creative part. And the reason why I did this is because Apex exists next week 1 year. We have several basic trainings per week, and I was just tired of always the same shooting range. I could literally count each stone and each grass halm and so on, and I was like, we need something new. And this is why the idea came up in February that I'm going to create my own map. And I reached out to Time Master / Lana to ask her about the basic stuff. And the rest was actually hours of watching YouTube tutorials and trial and error. Finally, it is done. And yesterday we had our first, second version of it with fixing a lot of stuff. So it is a never-ending story and working process, but I'm super glad that it finally worked out for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine how proud you must feel now that like you did that. I mean, you had a lot of help along the way, and 4 months is a while. So I feel like it's a good level. You feel really proud about it, and I mean, what was your
Yeah.
favorite part about like this whole process? Was it just the end, seeing like, hey, I actually did it, guys, or like, was there any
Yeah,
key moment?
definitely that. And also
Yeah.
always seeing, I mean, the thing is, of course, we had, for example, 10 days where I didn't work at all because I was on vacation. But I also had a lot of these days, and I think Licham can also figure that out, where you have sitting on the map for like 6 hours. And you check the clock, it's like, wow, it's already 6 hours later. Yeah. So time is so flying when you're creating something and when you're really into something. So I was super happy to see from day by day how it grows. And literally what I had in mind was literally then in the map, and I could walk around and test things out. So this always gave me new motivation, even when shit was going on with the technique. And I was like, just stop it, Kenzie. Just don't continue with it. It's too bad. You are too bad for it. But then I saw the new results and I was like, no, I have spent so many hours now and so much energy. I want to finish this. And yeah, this was literally the roller coaster.
Oh man. Well, I say you yourself now, you're glad you did it, definitely. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you have a map now, and I mean that's a footmark in the community. Is like, I think one of the best things about map making is it's a personal touch and that people can enjoy, and that's something, even if not a lot of people play on it, it's still, you contribute just something to see, and you know, everybody, you know, it's leaving that footmark.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself making more maps in the future?
Oh, actually, we started with our second one yesterday.
Really?
So
Can you tell us anything?
yeah. Well, we are still in the finding process. My husband and I, we are not on the same page about what's going to happen. So we have a lot of different ideas, and but it's definitely going to be, yeah, a fun map more, maybe for co-op hunt, not a Milsim map because this project is done. It is just about, yeah, let's figure out what else we can do. So my first map was technically really on 100% pure Milsim stuff, also for my group as a thank you, because I have a lot of awesome guys into my group in Apex, and this was one of the only ways I can technically say thank you for your work, thank you for your support. Also adding these little details from all of us, these little extra hinges not everyone is going to understand, but the Apex members. And also I love to see that other people are also going to use it, because this was also always something like, yeah, the shooting range is great, but I would like to have this and that, and I added it, and other peoples are using it as well, and this is what I really love. So our next map is going to be some outdoor map with co-op hunt, so just, yeah, a normal map you can find for doing co-op hunt.
Fun. I can't wait to see more on that. Legium, you do commission maps, and you also, like, do you make maps for yourself or just something fun to do, or do you purely do commissioned, or like?
Well, um, I mean, I used to make maps for fun and really just as well, really for the community. And once Shadow and Astro talked to me, SSF basically just talked to me about commissioning a map. I was in, you know, it seemed fun, and you know, it was gonna put new challenges on me, and you know, and then that's kind of what I did for a while with TD headquarters and also an SWC base. And then lately I've been having some troubles with SSF, and I restarted just making maps for fun, like Universal Military Base, which is my newest map right now. And well, it really just was for the community, for the Milsim community. It really wasn't for a specific group or anyone. So I mean, yeah, sometimes I make maps for just, you know, for fun, and sometimes I make Milsim maps. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, and do you often see yourself, do you see the reward in it, just the people's reactions and the enjoyment in it, or like, is the process itself kind of interesting to you still?
Well, I mean, the process gets repetitive, definitely after making multiple maps, but there's like some stuff that's more fun than others, like modeling. I definitely like that, and like UV unwrapping, let's say, that's something you do in Blender. That's just awful. That's something takes a lot of time and texturing, all of that. It's kind of like there's boring parts and there's really fun parts. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so as far as commissioning maps go, I mean, so was the SSF based, was that the first commission map you made for like Milsim stuff, or like did you do
Yeah.
anything before that? That was the
No, it
first.
was
How
the
long
yeah,
ago
it
was
was the
that?
first. I'd say 5 months ago, maybe
Yeah,
6.
it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. I feel like you're like one of the few map makers that I think is that I actually knew made maps or like that. So I think it definitely brings light and shines light on things for, you know, the community. Um yeah. What would you say, Legion, is one of your least favorite parts of map making? Like the actual process itself,
Um,
like
that's a big question. I'd say light baking is something really boring because it's something where you can't really do anything. You need to wait for your computer to do it. You
Exactly.
can't do anything to make it faster. You just need to wait, and it's really
I
boring
mean,
sometimes.
you can send a pray that it's not going to destroy something. This is
Yeah,
what you can do. Yeah.
and it's
but
called light baking.
yeah, that's basically like imagine this map. If the light wouldn't be baked, currently everything would be just like a medium gray, every like object. But with light baking, you can see like shadows and bright spots, and then these red lights over there. That's light baking, and that's something that your
Oh
computer
wow.
does. That well, Unity does. That you don't have control over. It just does it by itself.
And you kind of just have to like watch and hope and
Yeah,
pray.
watching. Yeah.
Oh wow. So how long does that take? Does it just vary?
Well, see, for like the big maps and really complicated maps, like let's say Turbine, um, I don't quite remember, but on the custom content guide that people like new map makers can use to see how you make maps, you can see at the end there's like a graph that shows like how much time each map took, each official map took, and Turbine I think it's like 10 hours to make the light baking, where they just had to leave the computer run and wait. But for my
Wow.
maps, it's more around like 10 minutes because, well, they're not as complicated. And definitely, I don't use the same setting as they do. They have like probably incredible, like, 128 texels of. You don't understand what I say about that, but like, it's just really, really complicated stuff that takes a lot of time to compute. But my maps, because it's not that precise, I just leave it somewhere around like 10 pixels and it does the job fine.
Yeah. So Kenzie, you seem to show a lot of emotion to light baking. Is that something you had issues with or struggles when you made the map?
Yeah, definitely. And even if we have the first edited version out of my map, it is still, of course, not perfect, but it's better. And yeah, regarding the light baking stuff, this is a whole section for itself. So there is a lot to discover and a lot to learn, and definitely something I'm going to shoot some more questions regarding the chat creator special chat area in Onward. So yeah, but literally this light baking thing is more or less the last step before you actually go in and check it out. So it's really a sensitive moment where you really just hope that everything is fine and you can finally jump in and check things out. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's definitely, I say, a full process going into that. So have you ever made, I guess this is a better question for you, Legion. Have you ever made any maps outside of Onward, like outside of this game? Do you make anything
Yeah,
else?
I used to make maps and avatars for VR chat, but that's like a while back, a year ago or.
Hmm.
And I mean, I made like only one map and two avatars. I think you can still find them, but I mean,
What
it
map?
was really. I'm not saying the name of that. Um,
That's your
it
guys'
was
homework. You guys can find this map.
so I mean, yeah, it was a really small map because I back then I only had a Mac, which was like 2017, and it's really not made for Unity stuff. So I mean, I just really made it small so that it doesn't take a lot of time to make and compute and stuff.
Yeah. Did when you started making maps, or like when you did that in VRChat, did that really kick off your interest, or did you just really did you just like seeing the end result the best, honestly?
Well, what do you mean by that? Like, kick off my interest into making Onward maps?
Maps and or just like maps in general and like 3D, because
Oh,
this is
well,
3D modeling and stuff.
I mean, before making VRChat maps, I already made 3D modeling and stuff. But I mean, yeah, making VRChat maps definitely pushed me into making Onward maps. But actually, before even making my VRChat map, I made an Onward map that is to this day still unreleased. And I still have the files for it. I might remaster it one day and remake it, but I don't know.
Well, that would definitely be something really interesting to see, and I think that'd be a really interesting challenge to go back to look at what you did back then. I do that a lot with my artwork. Is I start it, and then I'll forget about it, or I just don't want to finish it, and I look back at techniques, brushes, and layers, and I'm like, what did I do here? So I definitely can see that being interesting. Kenzie, have you ever done 3D modeling before or anything like this up till this
No,
point?
unfortunately not. I did some research regarding Blender and all these fancy programs who are out there. You can spend thousands of dollars for it. And I said, okay, one step at a time. So these projects are pushed back far. I try my best to find everything what I need in the Unity Asset Store and try to work with that for now.
Mm-hmm. Did it cost not to get into the financials of it, but did it cost you a lot to make the Apex map, or did you relatively stick to what was free, or like no
Well,
judge to
it
that?
definitely cost me something. I mean, there is really a way where you can do it completely for free. There are always some free asset packages out there.
Yeah.
But if you scroll around and you find something and you really fall in love, and even if it costs something, then it's just let's just do it. Yeah. So
You gotta have
yeah,
it.
I definitely had some of these moments, but it is worth it. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's all about the end result and the smiles you can make. I feel like the ripple effect of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Legium, you made a base NSWC.
WC, yeah.
That was yeah, that was a struggle to say. I don't know why I can never actually remember the acronym for that. What was that like? What was that like? 'Cause I know that's a really loved map. Like a lot of people love that map. So
Well, making it was if that's your question, making it it took 2 months, but it could have been done in 2 weeks. It's just Goose, the guy that commissioned it. He was in the middle of changing milsims when he asked me for the map. So basically, I had to remodel logos and stuff, and I had to wait for him to make his ideas up and stuff. So it's definitely and at one point also I lost interest into making it because I just didn't know what to add anymore. And he would just say I don't know what to add either. We need to find something. So I mean that's why. But um at some point, some random guy, we were in a call in his community, and one guy just said you should add an aircraft carrier, and I was like, oh wow, that's actually crazy good. And that's where my interest went 100% back in, and then I finished the map in under 2 days after that.
yeah, you have made a moving osprey that I think took a lot of people by surprise. It's really creative, honestly. Like, was that hard to do?
Yeah, it took me 2 days to animate the full thing. Because I made the animation in Blender, and then I exported it into Unity. And when I tried to make it work, there's a few problems, like the collision system in Onward isn't as good as you would expect. So it's like you can lag around sometimes. So I had to add special colliders somewhere so that you can't just clip out of the plane and fall. And
Yeah.
also there was also performance issues where too many things were rendered at the same time because you're like in the air, so you can see basically the whole map, and it's not really good for the quest. So yeah.
Well, I imagine that was probably took a lot, or just a lot of patience probably to animate that in Blender. And how does that really work to animate in Blender? Like, is it just kind of like um I'm learning to animate currently, so like I'm talking like like digitally art. So that's how like I see it. What is there any correlation or any similarities to how you do that in Blender?
Well, kinda, yes, because I know in art it works. If you animate art, it's frames, right? You
Mhm.
you normally animate 24 frames a second, I
Mhm.
think so. Um, and it's kind of the same thing in Blender. Every frame you can decide. Let's say you have the first frame, right? The osprey is on the ground. You can move, I don't know, 120 frames later, so 2 seconds later, because I use 60 frames a second for animating. Um, it could be like this in the air, and you can just tell it, hey, I want this thing at frame 120. I want this thing to be at this position, and Blender will interpolate the movement of the osprey by itself. So basically, you just need to tell it, I want this in that rotation, in that position, in that scale, at this frame, and then Blender is gonna understand whatever you want, and it's gonna interpolate the rest of the frames that's missing.
So it helps you do it along the way. So it's
It kind of does it for you, but you still need to do like you still need to tell it frame by frame wherever you want the osprey to be.
that's really cool. I remember I've tried to download I'm trying to get Blender on my laptop, and I learned a valuable lesson: graphic cards and updated electronics. That's a great lesson learned, by the way, guys. Always check what you're using before you download something, because that is not fun to clean up and fix. Because my laptop was not happy with me when I was downloading and getting files and all that. Because originally for the Onward Talk Show map, I didn't really talk to TJ about like getting a map. I first was like thinking, okay, well, this is something I could probably try to do myself now that I have a laptop. And I was thinking, okay, cool. So if I do this, what do I do first? Which I got in contact, and I had been talking to Time Master and Lana. So that was like after the first episode of the talk show. Was I talked to her a lot more. So I was like, okay, maybe I can kind of do this. And I remember there was a person who owned a Milsim who was getting a map and had said, "Hey, we'll put the room in for you for the talk show." So there was like a lot of things going on. And then TJ was like, "I'll make it out of the midst, out of like the shadows." He's like, "I can do it." And then we actually did. It was sort of like, is he gonna be able to do it? Do we still like, what do we do? And then he committed, and here we are. So yeah, I think the amount of people that came together and showed interest in making this map, incredible. Honestly, I mean, the fact that another Milsim leader was would work with their map creator to actually feature us, and I think that's incredible. So that just made this project so much more exciting as we got into things. Um, yeah. So, uh, Liam, do you have any favorite parts of maps you've made, or?
Favorite parts like sections of the map?
Yeah, like things that
Um,
you've made and you're like, "Whoa, that's amazing."
Definitely the osprey, but we already talked about that.
Mhm.
Maybe also like I'd say on my newest map, Universal Military Base, the grass on Quest, that wasn't that easy to make it run because Quest isn't that performant, and I think it's really just cool to see it run on Quest too. So I mean, that's also one of the things I like. And if I was gonna say a last one, I'd say um maybe just really the lore behind North, because if believe me or not, there is lore in North. There is actually a story that what happened on that map that me and Dusky, maybe you know him, helped me create, and for that he also has an Easter egg for that map. He's somewhere in there.
Huh. Um, that's really interesting. I never really thought about stories and all that going into maps. Um, so more towards Kenzie, not to leave you out here in the dust.
All
What
good.
is your what is your favorite part now when you look back at your map? What do you look back at it and you're like, "Oh, that's amazing." Like, do you have any favorite parts and sections?
I like the fact that also my ideas which are kind of 70% are in the map because we needed a lot of extra and specific stuff, especially in the training area to do our basic trainings. What we were missing in the normal shooting range. Finally, we have it, like the obstacle course. I was always thinking, like, I would love to have this typical climbed section, what you can find in the military parkour course. So I'm happy that this worked out. But also, when I started the project, I also opened a special channel in our Discord server that all the members can put in their ideas, what they would like to love to see there. Of course, not everything was possible because sometimes they became really creative. But some of the aspects were really where I like, oh yeah, I like that. So, for example, the bar. I never had planned a bar in my map, but it was like, yeah, this is kind of a good idea. So why not? So I added the bar, and then we made a vote about the name from the bar. And some guys said, hey, let's call it Berlin's Bar. And so this is how the story went on, and I really like to see that it was not only my idea, but it was always also the idea from members from us who brought in a lot of ideas. So yeah, it was definitely a team effort.
Yeah, I bet you built a large sense of community making and collecting ideas in the collective of people. I mean, just I say the amount of times Legion and TJ and we're in a VC like together, and I know I would join, and I got to talk to Legion a lot. I thought that was pretty cool. Is just reconnecting better with TJ and just talk. It's like you're building a community. You're building friendships, or like at least talking to people. So I feel like in a sense collective, and it's welcoming. It makes you feel good. Especially, I mean, having people from your server like give ideas, and I think from their point of view, it's probably nice to see their ideas or their mentionings come to life. So yeah, I think that's amazing. If you could go back and redo any part of your map, or well, outside of any updates, is there anything you would totally redo, or are you pretty damn happy with it?
Well, not damn happy, but definitely happier today than I was 2 days back before the first update. I still have to fix the damn skybox because the smokes and flashes are not working 100%. I already asked this question. I didn't came behind the issue, but I'm working on it. What else? I mean, I think we all are waiting that finally the Quest 1 is going to drop, because in the beginning I had a lot of more Easter eggs all over the place in the map where it was like, yeah, this is for Igby, or yeah, this is for whoever. I had to remove all of this because triangles and materials were over the moon, but I can't wait to add at least a few of them. So there is definitely a lot of room to add more stuff, which is not really so important to have in, but nice to have. So yeah.
Well, I would say Easter eggs are definitely a really fun thing to implement in maps. I mean, this very map has a lot, and I mean, when you guys check it out yourself, either now or after, whatever you guys do, you guys will definitely love. And we have an info board that's pretty legible. I mean, I would like to say like this new update has made things a little easier to see. Like certain maps have like info boards that they're just, it's a little fuzzy, and I think the graphics of that way it's come a long way. Like significantly. I think there's a difference. If there's not a difference, I'm crazy and I'm going cross-eyed. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, Legion, you're featured elsewhere on the map, correct? Here, like you have a little something.
Yeah, right there, I think.
Not just that.
Oh yeah, the jam right there.
Yeah, so there's a little Lee jam, a little strawberry jam. So you guys can come check that out. And there's an aircraft, and of course you guys can't really see that, but I think
Talking about that aircraft, TJ wanted me to animate it and make it do 8s around the map on the ceiling. And I mean, I told him yes, it's gonna come one day.
Oh heck yeah. I can see so much more coming to this. I mean, I love how personal maps can be now, and how like
Mm-hmm.
they're like to see this and actually be in the map is whoa. I think we're
Oh
really
yeah, I
going
hear you.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I bet you feel like great about seeing your map. Um, I mean, in the entrance of the main office, there you have like you're featured by an article by Milsim Insights. And I think
Yeah.
that's great to read. That was amazing to see put in there. So how did
Yeah,
that
and
begin? Or
right. So it started. Well, I have to check when the guy from the Milsim Insight reached out to me. It was in the very beginning, and I saw his advertisement, and he was literally like, "Yeah, we are the news center regarding what's going on in Milsims," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, this is interesting. Let's join it." And he reached out like a week later, like, "Hey, can I do an interview with you?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So we sat together. I literally wrote a whole book about Apex and how everything started and what we are for and so forth and so on. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm going to write a report out of it." And I was like, "Sure, go ahead." And when I saw it, it really blows my mind up. It was so wonderful because it was literally what we are and what we are standing for. And then I just reached out a few days later, like, "Hey, if it's okay for you, I would love to post your great article into my map," because it was just so on the point written about it, and he really put a lot of work in it. And I was again like, this is something, it has to be on the map, as in thank you for the Inside Milsim guys. So yeah, and now we have it in the entrance. Yeah.
I think that is fucking awesome, honestly. It was great to read it. I feel like it really captivated, captured. It was really well written too. Like it was really what Apex is. It didn't look like it was
Thank you.
written with AI either. I mean, I'll check on that stuff, but like looks like somebody actually sat down, focused, and wrote. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what makes it all the more special. And if it was AI written, I don't know how you're gonna be able to do that with some stuff. I don't, AI is not that great.
Mm.
I hear that a lot now, that like people who write articles and stuff for these communities are using AI, which that begs me to differ. Uh, I want to say this is pretty niche. This is a niche subject, and I don't know how well an AI is going to be able to capture that. So it takes a lot more than just an AI to write stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. I like seeing all the efforts people have gone through towards this stuff in the community. I mean, you're a Wilson leader. I mean, it means a lot to you. It means a lot more to you when you see it and you see things given to you or presented or wrote. I mean, to be here too, and also Apex is reaching on 1 year, right?
Yeah.
How is
Next
that?
month.
Yeah, how is
It's
that?
awesome. I had never thought that we are going to survive that long. And as you can also read in our history, it wasn't my first idea to create it. This Milsim, a guy reached out to me and he was asking when I was back in Task Force Valkyrie in High Command in his very last days. And he was like, "Hey, I have this new project. Are you willing to be my second in command?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So we started it together, but the issue was that he was also not really reachable. And whenever I had a question, I always had to reach out to him. It took him like 1 or 2 days to give me an yay or nay, and it was a process which took forever, and I had the feeling I got stuck. And he said after like 3 weeks, "If you would like to become the leader of Apex, because obviously this is not how we want to run shit together, and I don't have the time," and so on. And I was not ready. So I was like, no, actually not, because I need you and your experience. But after a week, and I talked to some of my members and also close friends, I knew them already before the whole Milsim career of mine started. And they were like, "Hey, Kenzie, we got you. We will figure that out together." And I was like, "Okay, good. If I get your support and I'm not all alone, then let's give it a try." So I reached out to Shanna again, and I was like, you know what? You asked me if I would like to become the first IC, and actually now my answer is yes. And he was like, oh, are you sure? Because if this is done, I'm not going to return. And I was like, yeah, and you can stay. We will find a place also for you. It is just that I would like that the project is finally going to start and become active. And he gave me the ownership, and a few days later he left. So, well, his decision. But since this day, I really have the feeling that things are going forward. We actually, when we have an idea, we between a few hours, we make it from the theory to the practice. And yeah, this is how you run shit, actually. So not going to say that I did everything perfect. We all make our mistakes, but even if you do something wrong, you always learn from your mistakes and you just keep forward. So yeah, and here we are.
I love that. Yeah, I think coming up on a year birthday for Milsim, especially like nowadays, Untacked. I mean, you guys do a very great job at staying out of issues and out of drama, and I think it's something that people should uh praise a lot more. Honestly, I mean, people. I think it's overlooked. Not to dwell on the Milsim drama stuff, but I think
Uh-huh.
that's a really good thing we can touch on, as Apex is a really drama. They're their own people. Like stepping in Apex, like I had done once before, it really feels like it feels separate. It's its own thing, and I think it's not enough groups that can do that. And I think it's actually that's different when you can actually really achieve that, honestly. So that brings me to mention we are still gonna do featured servers, and for future, I really want to try to keep them relatively different servers that aren't mongering issues in the community. And one of those servers that don't cause issues would be Apex. So Kenzie, as a little birthday gift to you guys get to be with, and yeah, many more to come. Would you like to tell us a little bit about Apex? I mean, not to put you on the spot, but here you are.
Sure, what can I say? Well, myself, I'm 35 years old, so I'm definitely more of the older guys in the Milsim community, which is okay. And I'm fine to get the nickname the old woman, fine by me. We also, of course, accept younger members as long as they are following the rules from Discord, which means 30 years and older. I have learned in this process that age is more or less just a number. I had a lot of 15 years old who behaved like 25 years old, and I had a lot of 21 years old who behaved like 9 years old. So this is why Apex is, first of all, open for all the age group at the age of 13 years. But our age range is between 19 and 28. We have some olders, we have some youngers, but this is the majority of ours. This is why I like to call ourselves more the adult Milsim. We do a lot of training. We also have, for example, the filming project with our own serials. Everyone has a character, and we are literally just doing our own little movies. We put this on our YouTube channel. Everyone is more than welcome as a member to create their own events, and as more input each member brings in, as more creative it is. So there is literally almost no limit. And I'm going to say this almost because we are kind of strict when it comes to fooling around, spawn killing, bullying each other and all that shit. So there's definitely a zero tolerance situation in Apex. We are strict, but we have a lot of fun together. And if people are looking for such a Milsim, they are more than happy to try Apex out. Yep.
I think Apex is it's really a standalone thing, and I can talk about it like all day long. I mean, there's not a lot of other servers I really feel as confident to talk about. I mean, I joined Apex, I was in Apex at a small little point, and oh my gosh, I probably didn't show it as much, but I really loved it. I liked how comfortable I really felt. And I mean, Kenzie, you can feel free to tell some funny stories off of my PC.
All right, if I have you go. So,
You can.
we have one of the part of our first 8 scenarios where we do the non-verbal communication part with the communication via the clicks. I know that a lot of Milsims are doing this, so do we. We have our own code system. And it is only allowed to answer to ask yes and no questions. And one of Soup's question when she was down and surrounded by Volks was literally, can you see the sun? And this was really one of the moments where we all start to laugh because we heard a lot of different yes and no questions. Are you in the shooting house? Are you behind cover? Is one Volk with you? Are you on the second floor? So these typical questions to get as much as intel as possible. And she was asking, can you see the sun? So this was kind of, what the fuck?
Okay.
She's still in running gag in Apex. It was wonderful.
Really?
And yeah.
Oh, well, that's great.
So we definitely had our moments. Oh, I do remember when we had our combat medic MOS class,
Oh,
and after
no.
the class we decided to do a little karaoke show and stuff. So here it is again. We were super serious when we were doing the training, but after that there is always some space for having fun and laughing. So why not? So yeah, I do also remember that.
I remember if it was during December, because I was during like the hype of Christmas.
Mhm.
If I'm correct, right? Yeah. Oh, I've been here a while. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember my syringes.
Oh yeah.
So anybody
I
who's
have no
played with
idea what
me.
you did or not did, but she was never able to revive actually the patient on the ground. But I mean, this morning you told me super proudly that finally you got it out.
Okay, so here's the story on my syringes, guys. I somehow uh could not revive or do anything with my syringes, and up to like a few weeks ago, I don't know if it was a factory reset, uninstall, reinstall. I don't remember doing that to Onward ever. So I realized now don't all laugh at me once, but I wasn't clicking the right button for
Wow.
the longest.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know it was down on the joystick, and I feel like I was told that like maybe once. um, so yeah, user error, guys. That's a real thing. I
Mhm.
remember like it was so embarrassing to like not be able to like revive somebody because I thought I had it switched to trigger. So
And I do remember that we were all standing in a circle around of our patient, and we were like, just do it like this and this, and you were always stabbing like it's not working. This was hilarious.
oh man, yeah,
I really
a
have to
lot of
tell you, you were one of the worst nurses we had in Apex, but it's fine. So you had definitely other qualities.
well, I have you know now, I am not doing open heart surgery on anybody, so we are in the clear.
That's a good call. That's a very good call.
Yeah, I don't think I need to be a doctor anymore, guys. Yeah, sorry parents. Yeah, not this kid. uh,
Oh.
yeah, no, I loved how welcoming you guys really felt. I mean, it's often really hard to do things in this community, depending on who and what you are, or just very very visible qualities, voice and stuff. And I wish we grew past that. I think we've grown past gender as a thing in the community a lot,
Mm.
but also I think it's just people are really immature. But I see a lot less gender comments now. Thank God. That was horrible. I mean, I actually still don't go into Publix by myself. So, but I don't know who really does anymore. So, I don't know. I just really think you really you put in the work. I mean, your work ethics are great. I mean, if you know someone's not gonna do it, you're gonna do it yourself, and you're gonna make a point of it. I
Yeah.
don't think we have enough people like that outside of people down at PM who are just as dedicated to and.
Yeah, this is actually one of my mantras. I would never ask a person in my unit to do something I would not do personally as well. So I'm still on recruiting. I'm still on the basic trainings. I really still work from the bottom and literally everything because in the very end it is still my unit. So I have to put the work in it. Yeah. So I'm not the queen of Apex sitting there and say, yeah, entertain me. Yeah. So it is a team effort. So everyone has to bring in its work and its yeah engagement. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely really good qualities to have. Legion, you're pinching the air. um, yeah, Legion. Actually, this is something I think you've you've definitely had to talk to a lot of people before. People who DM you asking about maps, this, that, and the other. Do you think like, is there any groups and servers out there that you've definitely kind of looked back at and say, hey, yeah, that's a cool group, or anything like that? We don't have to get too specific in names, not to stir anything up, but do you definitely have those moments where you're like, these are cool people. If I do want a map, I'll definitely do something for them, or make commissioned or anything like that?
I mean, yeah. Firstly, well, PM already has their map, but I really, once I joined BCT that they were doing, and I really just saw like, shit, they're really making it. You know, they claim to be like almost one is one of like real life military and Marines. And when I joined their BCT, I was like, shit, yeah, they're not. They weren't lying about that. Um, and also like, I mean, there's also some milsims that I didn't make a map for yet, but they just seem like really cool guys that I would actually make maps for. It's just like, I mean, I can't do that every week, you know. I would be exhausted. So
You're not wonderful. You're not the wondrous TJ who's been able to make 3 maps in a week.
yeah, but like
Superman.
TJ got a lot of help. Yeah.
uh, no, it makes me really happy to see. Honestly, I'm so glad that you were able to help. And I don't know. I think some people, especially I myself, I look back on people or like creators and artists and people like yourself who they do the things, and it's like you're definitely on a pedestal. So it's even nicer to have met you and talked to you more through this. I don't know. It's nice. um, yeah. It's just
There's also other people that I helped, like uh Mario. I don't know if you know him, and I don't know if I'm either saying his name correctly, but he asked me for help, and I helped him a lot. And turns out he just never released his map, which is kind of sad because his map looked really cool. And I mean, I haven't seen him active on the Onward Discord or anywhere. Basically, I don't know what happened to him. And also like the new map Hold the Fort, K9 also helped him a lot. So it's just when people come up to me, I really will not just reject you know, your help offer because, it's really just a big community. I want to help everybody as much as I can, hopefully.
And that's really great. It's nice to see, and yeah, people like yourself really help out a lot, and just it's such a good thing to make maps and
Mhm.
stuff. I like myself for commissioned art, and I'll do a lot of free art for people too. Honestly, like I don't really mind whipping up art for people in the community because I mean, why not? Practice makes perfect, and you're doing something, and yeah. Um, so I think I want to move towards the closing this up because it's been over a good hour or
Oh,
close.
really?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Huh.
It's been yeah.
almost.
It's
Yeah.
probably it's late. I would assume late for you, Kenzie, or
No, it's fine. Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to ask us, go drop them in general chat. If you guys have any questions, and if there's a few people watching live. Yeah, if you guys have anything, ping me, and I'll look at. We'll definitely put this up on YouTube later, and I think we're gonna do like a separate little video. If not, at the end we're gonna like walk around the map and show stuff off. I don't really know what we're doing with that. I see somebody typing, so yeah,
Spectre.
that'd be the biggest tease to see somebody type and not uh.
What
Oh,
is
okay,
Apex
so
BCT like?
yeah, Kenzie, it's for you.
Oh, well, it is between 1 hour and 1.5 hour long. It is a mixed about a little stress test, and then we also do already some special military movement techniques trainings, and in the very end, it is a mix between not if you are already the best onward player, because this is not the point, but at least it would be nice if you know how to hold a weapon at least and shoot probably. But it is also more about that you fit into our community, which is again not fooling around, not being an asshole, not being a bully guy. So this is more our focus what we are doing in the basic training. And also if we are going to teach you something new, which we are happy to do, that you are listening and just follow along the line. So yeah.
Really good things. Guys, don't all ask questions at once. Oh my. We've gotten like one question, man.
Hey, it's
guys
better
have
than
gotten-
last time. You got no
Oh,
zero
yeah.
questions, so it's one more.
Yeah. One more, yeah. We have more listeners. It's going up and down. Yeah, we're back at 8. Oh, Sig.
Sig Inspector.
Also, I would like to mention Sig, part of the scripting crew, has definitely. I just want to say special thanks to our scripting crew. For scripting crew, we want like outlines. We don't need like full detailed. This is play by play. Just something to help go by off of, because it's definitely. I mean, I can spew off topics, and it helps me stay on track. And I think Sig has just been a really good help with that, and especially Reaper, really good people. So definitely really thankful for you. Or for them.
Question here from Sig. What games did you play growing up, like? /like?
Who is that for?
I think that's just a general question.
Alright, Legion.
Oh, wow. Growing up, I mostly played games I already had on my PlayStation, so like, Uncharted 4, probably one of my favorite games of all time. Well, I mean, you have your usual Apex and Fortnite.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, but that's just something everybody passed through. And I mean, I don't know. I just played a bunch of games, I guess.
So it was for I think all three of us. So Kenzie, what about you?
Well, as I said, I'm already 35 years old, so I might came from another generation.
You had some games, right? Like you guys at least had like
Yeah,
hard
of course.
games. Like,
but
I think you had a
totally
phone in your generation.
the mobile phone started when I was kind of in middle school or so. But I grew up with a television and with a lot of consoles. So I'm totally a console guy. I had the Nintendo NSD, I think it's the really first one. I had the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64. I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. So I was focused in all the consoles. Zelda, what is the other game from PlayStation? I don't remember. I was a huge fan about Zelda. So always fighting with a sword, I found super cool. And well, actually, the VR came into our household because of my husband. He got it from work, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And he actually started playing Onward, and I was like, interesting." And then I started it, and now I'm the one who is addicted. And I think the last time he has played was when I asked him to raid our own group as a training thing, which is kind of 6 weeks ago. So he is so not into Onward at all anymore. So yeah.
I love that. I didn't really. So we had a family computer, like a big old block computer, family style, and like I played Roblox hardcore on that. Like that was the grind. I remember I wasn't really supposed to like watch YouTuber stuff on it, but I definitely still did. And I had Minecraft, and I did not ever touch Terraria. I never understood Terraria. We did Xbox. We were an Xbox household. We were cool. We were not PlayStation.
Oh my
I
god,
mean,
my bad.
yeah,
You know
your bad
what?
is right.
I think I had 7 different consoles, so all the Nintendos and stuff. And when I moved to America 5 years ago, I bought one Xbox. And it didn't work anymore after a month. So
Okay.
here's my situation with Xbox. I never had these issues with all of my Nintendos or with my PlayStation, and then I tried the first time with Xbox. So I'm so done with Xbox. I'm sorry. So here is my experience.
One bad experience doesn't mean you have to ruin all the other ones.
I just stick with
Xbox.
the systems who are actually working, you know. So.
Okay, now. So I had my brother had the 360, and we played like, honestly, I think it was less me playing and me watching him, like, and when they had the Xbox One, I watched them play Skyrim. And I kind of just watched that like forever, and maybe like zombies. Occasionally when I actually did play, there was like free games, he would get like there's this one little fish game, but I also played on the Game Boy Advance, which I played Super Monkey Ball Jr. Best game ever on earth. I still have a Game Boy Advance, and I will still play that. Do you know what it is?
No.
Oh well. Oh my gosh! If you can emulate it on any device and on Steam Deck, by the way. And you should all do that, guys. Buy a Steam Deck, emulate it on there or any device, and play Super Monkey Ball Jr. It is absolutely amazing, and yeah. Oh, I see. Cooper.
Legion, what is your favorite map that you didn't make?
Didn't.
What?
Oh,
I mean,
that's interesting.
so I mean, by that we had a little conversation. He says like someone else made. So he's asking for my favorite Onward map that I didn't make, which makes sense. It would probably be Tanglewood from Bluga. It's really a map that I've been seeing, that I saw Bluga work on for a lot of time because he sent a lot of screenshots and stuff in the Onward server and little sneak peeks that you could see. And he also showed me the first I don't remember if that's if that's really what he meant, but like I think the first time I saw his map, it was supposed to be like a trench map, like a World War One map, and it turned out to be Tanglewood, which is just a big forest with a lot of trees, and it looks beautiful. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's the main reason why I really love this map. It's just really impressive the work that he put on it. So that's my kind of
Yeah,
answers
it's
the
an
question.
awesome map. Yeah.
Well, that's a very good question. Worded very differently. Kenzie, do you have any? Oh, or I want to branch off that question. Do you have any favorite Onward maps that you did not make?
Well, if you ask my unit, everyone is going to say right after a second it's Downfall, and they are right. I love Downfall.
What?
Downfall
Okay.
Day and Downfall Night. You can literally do everything there. So yeah, Downfall is definitely my map.
I don't know about you, but I will have every meeting for every server done on Suburbia at the sandbox till the day I die. There is nothing more amusing than having an Onward Milsim meeting in-game by the Suburbia sandboxes to prove how childish it really is. I mean, what? I
Fun
didn't say
fact.
that.
Yeah, fun
I
fact. This is
actually,
actually
like,
the
I love
plan. Yeah, and this is the
Um,
place when we have our high command meetings. We are also,
really?
so I'm always sitting on the slide. So
I like to
Diesel,
play in the
Diesel
sandbox.
and Gabriel are sitting in the sandbox, yeah. And Nomad is most of the time just standing next to it, shaking its head. Like, are we
Nomad doesn't
done?
get paid enough to.
Yeah, if
Nomad,
if there is nothing else, so
I like to I'll zone out while I listen to people conversate, and I'll just pretend I'm skipping in the sand. Like I'll actually zone out. Like I don't know. Really, I honestly really like Suburbia. I don't know. I want to see it. I want somebody to make something similar to Suburbia but better. Suburbia actually kind of hurts my eyes to look at. Like I've been on Suburbia just as much as you've been on frickin' Shooting Range. Again, another map that hurts our eyes to look at now because we can look at every detail. Yeah. Oh, the Onward update really spruced up free roam. Actually, I really liked that. What did you guys think of it?
Well, I'll go first, Kenzie. Sorry.
sure, all good.
I'd say the thing that really interested me the most in this update was the new animations, but sadly DPI kind of goofed up. The running animation is kind of awful. I will
Can
say
I run?
that.
Yeah,
Go on.
what am I asking you for? So, guys, can you give me a start? So, like, it's a little wacky. Yeah, yeah, I'm a runner. I'm a track star, but I don't know what that was, to be honest. Bailey, it's
the
like,
the walking animation though is really good. I gotta say that. Yeah, the walking animation. Well, that's kind of fast running, but if you walk slower, I mean, it's not that bad. It's definitely
Well,
better than what we used to have.
if I'm in a lobby and I'm getting raided by people who are running at me like this, I'm terrified. I am shutting off and going, and I'm going to bed. Like, I'm gonna come over, run off, like just for you guys to get the full experience. But this is terrifying. The flailing of arms, like I see
And
that a
so
lot. Like,
I can already tell you, I think a catwalk is missing here. So maybe this could be already the first
oh
update.
my gosh, we are gonna have a catwalk from this stage to the stage with the lights. Oh my god, yes. TJ is probably sitting, shaking his head, begging that I don't ask this, but he knows damn well I will be asking this. Yep, Kenzie, thank you. Yeah, TJ,
You're
take it
welcome.
up with her if you're mad.
We see us in
I
DMs.
Yeah, Kenzie, you're just gonna get like a story of like, how dare you give her this idea? Yeah. Well, I think it's been pretty damn long of just jibber jabbering. And is there any more questions or anything else? Does anybody want to comment anything? Or, TJ, I don't know if he can actually hear us or like what his stance is, but if you could like come alive, I think we should tour the map now.
No response.
Earth.
I hope he was still recording this whole time.
Yeah.
TJ.
Well, otherwise it was a nice talk with you anyway. So
Yeah. What's well, I'd like to keep you guys around for the little map tour inside. Be kind of cute. Oh, he's typing. Oh. Imagine all the footage is just gone.
That'd be funny.
Also, a special thanks to the security today for this episode, Hook.
Hook,
You can
come
say
here,
hi.
Hook.
Yeah, come here, Hook. We love you. Come on, you're right here. Beside me. Uh-huh. Oh, you look so happy.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, okay. So TJ says we should do a separate video for the tour. Well, would you guys mind? Do you guys we can walk around for it, and then we can also go by and get off for that. Yeah, sure.
Well, I kind of gotta go. So I mean, you can stay with Kenzie, but I gotta
want Kenzie to stay.
go.
Anyway, well,
nice meeting you, Liam.
I like.
Yeah. Oh,
Oops.
well, what rutro? Well,
And
it's been a great
here
episode,
he
guys.
goes.
Yeah, it's been a great episode. You guys have any comments, questions? Always shoot me a DM, or this will be posted, uploaded later. Tell us when you stopped recording, TJ, and then we can go ahead and